welcome Lola Gillibar.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. At my age, I am glad to be anywhere. You may have noticed that I suffer from WWD. That's walking while distracted. Now, I don't walk distracted with my cell phone. I don't walk distracted with my Sirius XM radio. I don't walk distracted texting. I just walk distracted walking. And it is a pleasure to be here to raise money for the Wet and Muddy. And I feel like I owe you a public confession anyway. And now is the time for me to give it. I'm sure now is the time. We live in a canyon and close to here in Laguna. And our veranda, nobody can see what goes on or off of our veranda. And just to give it to you straight, my husband, Hank, pees off of the veranda. And I feel really guilty about it because he even got a letter from the county saying that he might be contributing to the mudslides. And I begged him to stop. I just begged him. In fact, I got right in his eyes and I said, repent. But he just stands there, gazing out into the canyon, and points his gluteus maximus over the veranda while he waters all the surrounding foliage. He got a letter from Al Gore. And the letter was congratulating him for going green. And Al Gore says he does the same thing. But after this most recent wet and muddy period, well, now Al Gore never comes. And I don't want Hank to go to prison. I mean, where would he go when he had to go? He loves the wide open spaces. Where would he go when he wanted to go? I mean, we've been married almost 57 years. Actually, 58 if you count that year we spent in the back seat of his car. You know you're growing older when you go in for a mammogram and you know this is the only time you will ever be asked to appear topless. You know you're growing older when people ask you if you're getting enough and you think they're talking about sleep. You know you're growing older when your body starts to wiggle and you're standing still. Now, I know we are here tonight to empathize with wet and muddy if I could talk, I'd stay a while. To empathize with the wet and muddy flood victims. But you know, folks, we all have our problems. I mean, my problem right now is that Hank's gluteus maximus is diminishing. It's diminishing into a gluteus minimus. And we've tried Viagra and Cialis and they don't work. So I decided to Google. And I Googled. And I Googled. And I Googled. And then one day I found it. I found it. It was on a website called getitup.com. And it's produced by a pharmaceutical company called Upsadaisy Inc. And I was so excited. I was so excited just to get excited. And then I read the fine print. And it said, this may cause high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, high cholesterol, and before you get used to this medication, do not drive a car. And do not operate heavy machinery, especially if you're driving a car. And then it said, go easy on this medication if you lose your vision, lose your hearing, become bipolar, or if you get numbness in your gluteus maximus. Numbness. And then it said, stop this medication immediately if you do not wake up in the morning. Now, what fun would it be for Hank to have a glorious gluteus maximus, and he wouldn't even be awake to enjoy it? So I decided to pass. I didn't order the stuff. Besides, I just read in a health journal yesterday that the medical experts at the University of Maryland tell us that we can enjoy sex way past the age of 90. Of course, they do not mean as a participant. You know you're growing older when you love to go braless because it pulls the wrinkles out of your face. You know you're growing older when you step out of the shower and you look down and you realize that your body has downloaded itself. You know you're growing older when your favorite evening cocktail is vodka and Metamucil. We call it bombs away. Well, I want you to know that if husband Hank found himself single again in this lifetime, I know all those single ladies, single senior ladies, would line up at our front door with that casserole. I've read those senior personal cards. Risa Widow just buried her fourth husband, looking for somebody to round out a 6-unit plot. Or the one that read, I can remember Monday through Thursday. If you can remember Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, let's get together and make a week. Well, folks, if I found myself single again in this lifetime, and I put an ad in the personals column, I'd let the men, especially Floyd, the guitar player, I'd let the men know I was serious. My ad would read, beautiful female, comes with a handicap parking sticker.